Hi and welcome back. Today we're looking at the Toby the Tram Engine again. This is from the IP Engineering Shelley Tram kit, but I'm going to build it as Toby the Tram Engine. If you remember, we've already had a go at a face. Haven't done a huge amount, but I made one little change that I want to, well, one little addition that I want to show you now. Apologies again, I still haven't found a decent way of filming this because the model is so big. But what I've done is figured out how to keep the roof from falling off. So if you remember last time, essentially the roof is just sat on top of the model. Now if I take the model off, you can see it's just kind of hollow on the inside. Put it to one side, it gives you a better view of the roof. Now, apologies, it's got dusty. I don't know whether you can see that on the camera because it's been sat around. It's been sat out up on a shelf essentially in front of me while I look at it and try and figure out what I'm going to do with it. Now the kit I think has you drilling a hole in the middle through the roof and then into this beam across the top, but that looks unsightly and I didn't want to do that. So I thought about magnets and all sorts of things to try and hold it on, and then I had a sudden realization that there was a really easy solution that I could do that wouldn't allow me to pick it up by the roof. If you noticed, I had it on, and I can just, as I say, apologies that it's difficult to see, but I can just lift it up and take it off. That's not a problem. But if I shake it side to side, it's not falling off, it's not moving, which for me is good enough. I'm never going to want to pick it up by the roof anyway, so that's okay. Now, so the question is, what did I do? Well, if I turn it over and we look at the bottom, it probably becomes clear. I've added 4 little strips here. Now this is some of the leftover beading strip. It's the stuff that was cut for things like the edges of the doorways here that you can see. And what I did was I basically held the roof in place on the model, and then I stuck them to the roof so that they line up in these gaps behind the door frames. So the idea is that they line up left to right across here so that you can't wiggle backwards and forwards. And they also line up right butt up against this so that the thing can't kind of shift sideways. And with 4, I mean, I could get away with 2 at one end and it would stop it. It would probably have kept it on altogether. If I put one at either side, it wouldn't be able to move forward or backwards or left or right. But with 4, it means it's really constrained. So and all I have to do is dump it on and kind of wiggle it a little bit, if necessary, and it's on. And as I say it now, I can shake it and it's not coming off. So that's I mean, obviously I can't really necessarily lay it down and it'll fall off to show you on the camera, but as I say, I need a better way of filming these videos for these large models. But yeah, it works nicely. So I can go ahead and I'll probably go ahead and respray this. As I say, it's already been sprayed once to hide the edges of the tape, but I'll probably spray it again to hide these. But also, even if they're visible, I don't know whether I can show it on camera, but even if they end up visible underneath, if you can look under there, you can see it just about up here. Even if you look in and can see them, when the model's on the line, it just looks like more roof supports and spars. So they're really nicely kind of camouflaged into the model. They look like they should be part of that kind of construction. So yeah, so apologies, that's all I've managed this week. I don't know what it's been like for you, but it's been hot here. I don't fancy waving around a soldering iron, and I just haven't had time with work and everything to do much else. But that kind of, the idea came to me, and it's, you know, as I say, it's cutting 4 pieces of strip wood, gluing them on, and hoping it worked, and it did. So I thought I'd give a quick update so we don't forget that I'm also building this model, and hopefully now, as I say, now I've sorted that, I'm happier to go ahead and paint the rest of the roof, so I can paint all the details on the roof now, and possibly do some weathering on the roof and some final painting and put it away so it doesn't get dusty, as I know that I'm not going to want to alter it any further. I still have to figure out how I'm going to go ahead and do the painting of the wood. I had wondered about just staining it, but there's marks from the glue where it's not going to stain the same as the rest. I've got the buffer beams that I added from printed pieces to deal with the bolt detail, and things like that, and I've drawn on it in places to get central lines and stuff, so I'm definitely going to paint it. I just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that to make it look like weathered wood, and I don't want a single kind of all over brown colour. I don't think. I think I'm gonna possibly see if I can find some cheaper acrylics than I usually use for the small models, but in similar colours. I have a technique you've probably seen on the channel elsewhere. If I can find a video, I'll put a link up. I'm not sure whether I have one. To a kind of weathered wood effect that's a number of starts off with an all over black coat and then some thin applications, weathering, you know, dry brushing type stuff of other colours to build up a kind of a weathered wood look. Because I don't want it to look kind of brand new. Toby is often portrayed in the books as being kind of fairly old. As a loco, I mean, obviously he gets kind of shut in a shed and forgotten for a while. Well, overnight isn't a while for Toby, but you know what I mean. He came to the end. The line came to the end of its usefulness before it moved to Soda. So that's my plan. But I have to find the right colour acrylics and do some tests. So hopefully that'll turn up in a future video. But for now, the roof's on, and I'm happy. As I say, it's never gonna survive being lifted up by the roof, but I don't want to do that. But it means that you can run run it around some track and it's not going to fall off, which is, I'm going with a success. So thanks for watching. As I say, I have no idea what will be in the video next week. We'll probably be back to the Gamecock build in 009, but we shall see. But thanks for watching this one, and don't forget, if you want to subscribe so you see whatever comes next, then the button should be down here somewhere. Bye.